Hey, campfire crew, let's get it on.
There's something out there waiting for us. And it ain't no man. We're all gonna die.
The Woman on the Road, submitted by London. My friends call me London. It's a nickname that stuck because I moved here from England about 20 years ago. I came to America right after leaving the British Royal Marines to pursue a relationship with a woman I'd met online. Back in London, I'd run a very successful food service business, over 40 carts specializing in gourmet hot dogs. I had a reputation for serving the finest in the city, and I hoped that once I'd settled in the States, I could franchise my business and find the same success in cities like New York or Chicago. Unfortunately, the relationship I had sacrificed everything for didn't pan out. I found myself in a foreign country with no friends, no family, and a fading ambition. To pay the bills, I went back to what I knew. I set up a small cart in a few spots around town. My most profitable location was the back patio of a popular college bar, situated just down the road from a private campus. The place was a gold mine. 4 nights a week, it was packed with 300 students. My food went perfectly with the beer, and by 8 p.m. the grill would be covered in sizzling sausages. Because of my thick British accent, the students were always curious, often asking how a former Marine ended up in a small American college town. On Friday, September 14th, business was booming. Tips were great, and the conversation was lively. The bar I was outside of closed at 2 a.m., and I began the tired routine of cleaning the grill, packing away the remaining buns, and hauling away the trash. By the time I loaded my truck, the adrenaline had faded into a heavy exhaustion. The bar sat a quarter-mile from the campus on an old, dimly lit road that functioned as a local highway. Students walked this route constantly, sticking to the narrow shoulder. The road connected 2 cities and had a speed limit of 45 miles an hour, but the lighting was poor, just enough to separate the lanes. You had to be hyper-vigilant to avoid the shadows moving along the edge of the asphalt. I was heading south toward town, approaching a sharp curve, when a young woman appeared out of thin air. She turned from the shoulder and stepped directly into the path of my truck. I saw her face clearly for a split second before the impact. A woman in her early 20s, her features twisted in a mask of absolute terror. She looked pale, almost spectral, and I braced for a horrific collision, certain I was about to feel the sickening thud of metal against bone. Instead, there was nothing. No impact, no sound. I slammed on the brakes, my heart hammering against my ribs. I checked my mirrors and scanned the ditches, but the road was empty. Just as I was about to doubt my own eyes, I saw 3 other cars pulled over a short distance ahead with their emergency flashers pulsing in the dark. I pulled in behind them and leapt out of my truck, shouting that I needed help, that I had just hit a girl 15 yards back. A group of 6 people gathered behind the last car, and they looked just as shaken as I did. "It's okay," one of them said, his voice trembling. "There's nobody in the road. You didn't hit anyone." I stood there, shivering and confused. All 3 of those drivers had been traveling the same direction minutes apart. Each of them told the exact same story. A woman had appeared from nowhere, turned toward their vehicle, and stepped in front of their bumpers. Not one of them felt an impact. They'd all pulled over to gather their thoughts, wondering if they had just hallucinated a tragedy. We called the sheriff's department, but they were already on their way. A call had been placed a minute before I arrived. The deputies blocked the road a quarter-mile in both directions and began a thorough search. They didn't find anything. There was no body, there was no blood, no scuff marks on our cars. There was no evidence that a collision had ever taken place. As the deputies took our statements, the chilling reality set in. Each driver described the same woman. Mid-20s, wearing a yellow top and white shorts with a face that looked like a faded, ghostly image. Some of the witnesses were crying frantically, unable to process the impossibility of what we'd seen. By the time the investigation wrapped up, the sun was beginning to peek over the horizon. The next day, a detective visited my apartment. He asked me to provide a more detailed description of the girl, and when I finished, he pulled a photograph from a folder and watched my reaction. My blood ran cold. "That's her," I said instantly. "That's the girl." The detective's face froze. He looked unsettled, almost pained. He told me the photo was of a student from the college, and exactly 1 year ago to the day, at the very same time, she had been walking back from the bar after her friends had left without her. She was struck and killed on that curve by a hit-and-run driver who was never found. "She was wearing a yellow top and white shorts," the detective whispered. "I haven't been back to that bar since. It's been years, but I still wake up in a cold sweat seeing that terrified, pale face in my headlights. I can only hope that the person truly responsible for her death eventually finds the courage to come forward. Perhaps then she will finally stop trying to tell us her story on that dark stretch of road." I Was the Brave Friend on Our Girls' Trip by OK Translator. I'm still shaking while typing this, so sorry for any typos. Okay. I'm still shaking while typing this. I just got home from a weekend trip with 9 of my closest friends, and I honestly don't know how to process what happened. I've always been the rock of the group. I don't get spooked easily, I handle pressure well, and I'm usually the one calming everyone else down. But what happened in that hotel room, I can't logic my way out of whatever happened. The vibes were off from the jump. We had to switch hotels last minute, and the new place was horrible. One room smelled like rotting garbage, and another group of my friends called us sobbing because someone was aggressively trying to kick their door in. We were terrified, so we all crammed into my room. 10 girls, 1 room, 5 on the bed, the rest of us on mattresses on the floor. At first, we tried to make it fun. We were gossiping, playing cards, just trying to have fun, you know. Around midnight, the lights cut. We groaned, thinking it was just shitty wiring, and kept hanging out by flashlight. I had my phone propped up on the nightstand to record us just being dumb and talking. We were laughing, but then the atmosphere just changed. The curtains started moving. Not like a breeze, like someone was dragging a hand across them. Then the lights flickered back on, and the room felt freezing. A few of the girls started having full-on panic attacks, and I was doing my best to keep everyone calm, telling them that it was just the AC or the wind. But then, we heard it. The room above us sounded like it was being torn apart. Heavy, rhythmic creaking, followed by this blood-curdling, sharp shriek that I can still hear when I close my eyes. 2 girls actually passed out from the sheer stress of it. I looked at the clock. It was 2:45 a.m. The lights went out one last time, and that's the last thing I remember. I didn't fall asleep. None of us did. It was like someone hit a kill switch on our brains. We all woke up at exactly 8 a.m., no grogginess, no hitting the snooze button. Just 10 people sitting up at the same time in total silence. We didn't even talk. We just packed and ran. The worst part? I checked my phone when I got home. The video I was recording was broken into 3 weird corrupted files. The middle section, the part where the lights went out and the screaming started, was just gone. It's like those minutes were physically scrubbed from the phone's memory. I've never felt so helpless in my life. I was supposed to be the one who handled the pressure, but I have no idea what we actually pressured by those 5 missing hours. Okay. But I have no idea what we were actually pressured by for those 5 missing hours. Never again. I'm still scared to this date, and whenever someone mentions that trip, I practically tremble. Hey gang, I thought I'd give you guys a quick update as to what's been going on here and something that I might play around with a little bit as far as the format goes. I've been trying to mix Friday Night Frights with volumes, which are usually an hour long, with 2 for Tuesdays, but I might be switching things up a little bit to have more episodes each week, maybe in the 25 to 30 minute range. And looking at, like I said, maybe 3 updates a week. Let me know if you can, social media, comments below, or shoot me an email, which formats you guys like. Do you like the hour longs? Do you like the 40-minute longs? Do you like the shorter ones that are a little bit more of a quick hit, but with more frequency? Would love to hear your thoughts on that. Also, I am getting close to finishing a fully edited book on true scary stories that I have received over the years. What will follow with that printed material will be a completely remastered audiobook that you will be able to download on Audible, but that's a little ways off. Basically what I've done is taken a number of the stories that I've really liked over the years, put them into different kind of categories, chapters I guess, and cleaned up what was written with permission from the authors. So, basically I'm just editing everything down again, re-recording, and that's going to be in a much, much larger volume that you'll be able to get over on Audible and actually purchase in book form if you so choose to. Kind of a little side project, a little something different, something that I've always wanted to do, and this is the opportunity to do it. Thanks everybody for hanging in there with me over the years. It's been, it's getting to be up there. Hope you guys are still digging it. Love hearing from you. Love all the submissions that I've been flooded with lately. It's awesome to hear from you all. If you do have a story, I say it every episode. Uncle Josh, truescarystories@gmail.com. I read them all. Also, if anyone is interested, a little project I'm working on, I have been chosen to participate in something called Vinylthon. It is a kind of a fundraiser to support college radio, where I got my start way back in 1992. And a number of us have been chosen to bring our old college radio shows back. So I am resurrecting the Punks Are All Right show, which aired from 92 to 96 on WCVF Radio 88.9 on your dial. And I'm going to be spinning the best in punk rock music, just like I did back when I was 18 years old. Yikes, time has flown. I'll have details on that if anybody wants to catch it. I will know more in the coming days, but you guys might get a kick out of that to hear my old persona, Bo Weevil, and the Punks Are All Right. So stick around for that. Hope you dig it if you do check it out. Everybody, I appreciate you listening. Thanks so much for hanging out around the campfire. Much more to come. Until next time, everyone, be excellent to each other. And be wary of things that go bump in the night. It could be anything. A ghost, a monster, or the guy next door. Or your giant golden retriever who just busted his way into the studio. What's up, boy?